Folks, we're here with the regional chairman in Block 22. Linden, of course, we're still here. Regional chairman, tell us what's happening here on the ground.
Well, thank you, Sherrod, and I'm happy to have you in Linden to highlight many of the issues that oftentimes get swept under the rug. You know, we live here in a hilly sand and clay region. Region 10 is a hilly sand and clay region, and we thought that when the Ministry of Public Works, who knows better, especially when they bring their engineers, that they would have advised the minister accordingly, but there seems to be some form of collusion with the policymakers and the technical people, because I cannot see engineers coming on the ground in an area like this, seeing that there's evidence of erosion and proceeds to construct a road without putting in the requisite drainage system, the curb walls, etc. It tells you what will happen when the rainy season comes. And so I'm happy to stand here with the residents of Block 22. This has nothing outside of the representation for the roads that I will speak to shortly. This protest action against what is happening here, against incompetence, is a direct response from the people. And so we came out and supported the people of Kansas City. The government is on record already as saying that they will not engage the elected officials in the region. They're still licking their wounds from the democratic blow that they would have received from the local government elections. And so they don't want to deal with the elected officials. They said they are going to deal with the residents. Well, the residents stood up and said that they do not want substandard work in their community.
Correct.
Okay, in fact, over the past couple of years, from 2020 October to now, we have been witnessing, and I just jot down some notes here that I want to really highlight.
Go right ahead.
You know, some basic things that we would have said to the government of the day, and to even when we're consulting with the residents. But under the People's Progressive Party and under the Public Works, it seems that construction and destruction go hand in hand.
But Deron, before you get there, one of the things I love about the region is that you all had a policy where infrastructure is concerned.
Yes, so one of the first policy that we would have taken in 2020 October, the statutory meeting, is that one, when you're doing and constructing roads in the region, you must put in the requisite drainage system. We prefer you budget for the drainage first, and then the roads will come after and seal the road, just like what is being done in Pratoville too. It's not that these folks don't understand the approach or the concept. It's just that when it comes to certain communities that do not support them, they believe that they can throw anything at the people, and Region 10 seems to have become a dumping ground for nonsense. And so I want the people of Icewater Road to know that at the RDC level, there are 5 critical steps that we have outlined as to how projects should be executed. And I will read them for you. 1, the 5 stages to the implementation and the crafting of our policies, etc., that the steps that they're supposed to go through. 1, as policymakers, we identify issues. So we come to the ground. The budget flows from consultation we have with our people on the ground. So we walked this very area in 2021, 2022, and we listened to the concerns of the people. And so we documented the issues that they would have raised. The second step is that we formulated the policy, and we formulated why Icewater Road should form part of the budget. Whether they did it in 2022, 2023, the groundwork started at the level of the RDC, where councillors came, documented the concerns and the issues raised, whether it's the lights, roads, whatever, bridges, and it formed part of our budget.
Doesn't sound to me like you all are anti-development at all.
Well, you know, the only people who believe that when you do sensible things, that it is anti-development is the People's Progressive Party.
Exactly.
The third step is we adopt it, we endorse it, we sign on to it, we vote that it should form part of the priority roads for the regions to be executed in the year's budget. The next step, if you look on the document, and I know you can't see it, but I'll ask Sherrod to read with me. What is here? It says what?
Yeah.
Consultation with various stakeholders. Now I'm engaging with the residents, and I'm asking them if the ministry ever came in here and consulted with them. And the answer is a big fat no. So they never consulted with the people. They just came and started breaking up, pushing through the machinery, laying steel that is not the required, the stuff that is required there, and trying to cut corners. And so I'm sure you will see the bulging that has occurred even in Linden here, where a road that we boasted about, where the minister boasted about at Casarina Drive, 50-something million. Check the state of the road. Bulging. So Region 10, we are now experiencing bulging as well.
Correct.
Right? And that happened days after the road was completed. And so I commend the people of Icewater Road for standing up. This is a $71 million contract. You might as well flag it now and get it right now, because when they finish spending the 71 million here, you know when again you get him back a road.
But interestingly, we heard that even though concerns were raised here about this road, that the minister came, Bishop One Edger, and instead of talking to the people, police were stationed here to make sure the road project goes forward in its current condition.
In the usual domination and control fashion, that is what, has been happening in the Upper Demerara Berbice region. They do not consult, they do not take advice. In fact, rather than listen to the residents, they have a bunch of people who can't recover from a democratic blow following them from the local government elections all along. In fact, one of them was there signing a contract. So this seems to be a reward for friends, family, and favorites who did not perform well in the local government elections, but as the recording indicated and highlighted, they now have to find a way to pay many of the people who they promise jobs and whatever, and so they're using it as a way to siphon off monies to their friends, families, and favorites. I want the people of Region 10 to know that on the 5th of August 2022, this is the submission that was made to the Public Works Ministry, and it highlights all of the roads where we made representation as a council for those roads to be done on the urban development. The ministry receives billions of dollars of taxpayers' money to do roads under their work program. But Edgel doesn't live in Linden. He doesn't know the names of these roads. He doesn't interact with the communities. He had to rely on a competent team of policymakers and leaders. And we humbly, because we want development in the region, but for it to be done at a high standard, at a high level, we ensure that we submitted the list of roads to his ministry. And it was signed off by the Chief Roads and Bridge Officer, Ron Rahaman, and it was also signed off by his Program Manager for Roads and Bridges, Denita Crandon. And it lists clearly all of the roads that should be executed in Region 10.
Black and white.
At Kokwani, at Aichuni, on Mackenzie, at Wismar, in Amelia's Ward, in Wizrock, Block 22. All of the roads are listed here. What he will attempt to do is to come and play politics by installing some of his candidates and the other representatives that fall under his belt to make it appear that these submissions were, pulled from the sky or came from his affiliates' submission. And I'm saying to you that it flowed from the very residents here to the RDC. It was well documented, and that is why the people are standing their ground here today, because they want the road in Icewater Road to look just like the road in Pratoville too, with nice sealed drains and with lovely, with a smooth pathway. And so we call on them to not be anti-development, to give support to the people, to the residents who are affected. This woman has been living here for some amount of years, and she said when the first road was being done, they turned a blind eye and took the word of the ministry at the then time that, we can come back and do drains and we can come back and do curb wall, and it never happened. And so they are standing their grounds now, and we will support them as their elected officials.
All right, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Yeah.